Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Just before we start, just a quick thing. I just want to test the sound. Claudia, can you hear me?
I do clearly, thank you.
Okay, what I'm going to ask everybody, check your screen on the right-hand side and make sure that your camera is switched off and your mic is switched off. Otherwise, I will see you and hear you all the time. Thanks, Claudia. Lindiwe, your camera is still on.
Okay, getting there.
Thanks a lot. Okay, just 2 more minutes and then we will start. I see we only got a few people here. I will give you 5 more minutes and then we're going to start, and the people that is logging in a little bit later just can catch up later. See you in 5 minutes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It seems that there's not people that is logging in now. We will start the webinar and they can just catch up as they log in. If you experience any problems from your side that you can't hear me or see the slides, you're not going to see me. I will spare you that. And then the best is to log out and log in again. Or if it's not helping, then log out, restart your computer, and then log in again. Sometimes with all the load shedding that we've got, it's creating havoc with the computers and all that, especially if you have to link outside of your office. Okay, just a few house rules before we start. First of all, I want to say welcome to everybody. I'm glad you're here. And while I'm busy with the presentation, you may post any questions that you've got. I will only answer it at the end of the presentation, but keep on posting your questions that you've got, and then I will answer it after the presentation. 5 o'clock, we're going to quickly have a 5-minute break, just for you to quickly, if you have to run somewhere, or a 5-minute smoke break or drink something, and I will take a sip of water, and then we will proceed with the webinar. And then this webinar is recorded, but it won't be made available. It is only for administration and training purposes that we record this webinar, so you won't be able to get this recording on a later stage. So make notes and post all your questions. I will answer everything. Okay, let's start with regulations and compliance, your module 1. There are 3 forms of legal practices in South Africa. First of all, you get your sole practitioners that have one owner. The person owns the firm in his or her personal capacity with any number of staff. You can have 1 staff member and you can have 50 staff members. There is no limit on the size of the business if it's a sole practitioner. And it will be John Smith attorneys or Maluleke attorneys. It will just be an attorney. Then the next one we get is a partnership. We have a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 20 partners. You can't have more than 20 partners if it's just a partnership. Each one has got a share in the partnership in his or her personal capacity. There are any number of staff members. The partnership trades in their joint names, Mabene, Botha and Pillay attorneys, and that is a partnership. Then we've got an incorporated company. That is, most of the law firms is registered as an incorporated company. You've got it can only be 1 person and a maximum of 50 directors. The firm is owned by the shareholders as a separate legal entity, and the directors have a share in the company. The company's name will always end with the word incorporated or Inc. Mabene Botha Pillay Inc. Incorporated. And that is, most of legal practitioners is registered this way. So you will see it from most of the time, the Inc. afterwards. Then we get legal practices, and legal practitioners are regulated by and have to comply with a number of regulations and legislations, regardless of the form of the legal practice. If it's a sole practitioner, partnership, or incorporation, they all fall under the same regulations from the LPC. It is important to know that the basic acts and regulations applicable to the legal practitioners is to keep abreast of developments and changes in the acts and the regulations. Okay, what acts and regulations are specific to legal practitioners? The first one, the big one, was the Attorneys Act of 1979, but it don't exist anymore. We've got the admission of the Advocates Act. We've got the Attorneys and Notaries and Conveyancers Act, the Admission of Legal Practitioners Act, the Attorneys Admission Amendment and Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund Act, and all these acts were in total replaced by the Legal Practice Act 28 of 2014 from 1st of November 2018. So any of those acts above don't exist anymore. They don't have any influence anymore. It was in total replaced. Now, what is the regulations of legal practitioners and candidate legal practitioners? Professional conduct and establishment of disciplinary bodies. There is, in this act, they discuss legal practitioners' fidelity fund, the handling of trust monies, regulations and rules, and then general legislation applicable to legal practices. So the Labour Relations Act is, no matter what business, is not only legal practitioners, labor relations is always applicable. Your basic conditions of employment, no matter what kind of business you've got, legal practitioners or any kind of business, the basic conditions of employment act will always be applicable. The Financial Intelligence Center Act is always applicable, and the Protection of Personal Information, the POPI Act. And you can actually see that this legislation is actually linked to a person. If there's a person working for you, this is available or applicable, no matter what kind of business you've got. So that is all the rules and regulations that is applicable to a law firm. Now, what is all the duties and responsibilities? First of all, one of the most important responsibility of a legal practitioner's management with the assistance of the office manager is to ensure that all policies and systems are in place regarding the administration of the legal practice. And a lot of times they neglect to look at this, and this is one of the most important things, is the administration. Everybody think, or it's not that it's not true. Your legal work is the most important because that is where you get your money from. But you won't be able to do legal work if you don't look after your administration of your business. That is the core of your business. You need to make sure that it runs smoothly, it meets all its goals, complies with the legislative and regulation requirements. That is extremely important. Renders a superior service to its clients. We're not going to just take the client's money and run away. We're going to offer a superior service. And this is where your legal practitioner comes in. They need to make sure that the service that they render to their clients is of a high standard. Now, to do all these things, there is certain things that you need to keep in mind. Let's start with a whole new business. What is the first thing that you look at? You need to look at the brand of your business. Your business, is it standing for assisting poor people? Are you really doing it? Or are you assisting the more wealthy people? Are you, your brand, is it there to be available 24/7? Or are you only available in office hours? Look at what you advertise out there, what you want people to see, and you need to comply to it. If you advertise that you're available over weekends and you're not, it can do a lot of damage to the brand of your business. And brand management, it's the responsibility of your admin people and your fee earners to make sure that whatever they do comply to the brand of this business. And then your file management, very important. If you don't do filing, you will miss important documents. It will get lost because if you don't file it immediately, it gets in a pile and later on it's gone and it can cause severe damage to your business. Post docs and services of processes and pleadings. We need to understand, and especially when it comes to your reception, where they receive documents, processes and pleadings, how to deal with it, how to deal with docex. It doesn't mean if somebody serves a document that they can acknowledge receipt thereof and just leave it somewhere. They need to tend to it immediately. People that do litigation, they will know what is the importance of documents that's being served. You are linked to very, very strict timelines. And if you get a document and you get it a day or two late, it can have a severe impact on your whole litigation process. Post and docex, we don't do post that much anymore, but there is still documents that's being sent with registered post and all that. And most of us make use of docex, and we need to know how to manage our docex so that documents don't just disappear. Luckily, nowadays, docex got barcodes, so we can trace a document who received a document. Years ago, they didn't have something like that, and you will for ages looking for your documents, who's got your documents. Then your switchboard duty and general telephone etiquette. That is also very important, your switchboard duty. You all heard the term first good impression. If clients walk into your office for the first time, where is your first good impression? It's your reception. If your reception is not neat, if your switchboard or your receptionist is not professional, they will always remember that first impression that wasn't professional, and they will start wondering, will this firm be able to deal with my work professionally if their reception aren't professional at all? So switchboard duty, very important. Loretta, you can switch off your camera, please. At the right-hand side on the top, you will see camera. Thank you. Switchboard duty, and then your general telephone etiquette. If the phone rings, no matter in the reception or at your desk, answer the phone within 3 or 4 rings. Don't let it ring, 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 ring all the time. It don't give a good impression. Answer your call, your phone immediately. And when you talk over the phone, make sure that you talk with a very professional voice, that you have a smile on your face while you're talking. People can hear when you smile. If you answer the phone with, oh dear, another phone call, people will take it very personal and think, are you this upset because I'm phoning? And this is getting a really bad effect out to the clients. And people talk, and the world is really very small. They will talk about this person. Every time that I phone, I hear, and then while I'm talking, I can hear the person is typing. So they don't listen while I'm talking, and they talk to other people, and that have a snowball effect. And you don't want that. That is not a good management of your office admin. and it will give your firm a bad name out there. And then writing of correspondence, email, and social media etiquette. First of all, when we do a document, check your spelling. There is no excuse anymore because everything's got a spell check. Emails, if you send an email to and fro to your friends and all that, that is fine if you use a slang or all these abbreviations, but don't do it when you email clients. Rather type the email in full, the same way that you would have done a letter. And then social media. I can't tell you how dangerous social media is. It can put your firm really in the spotlight that it won't want to be. If you mention something and it is political or anything that make people upset, can hurt people, it will come back to the firm, not to you, to the firm. So whenever you use social media, a lot of firms has got Facebook and Twitter and all that. Make sure that you don't put your foot in your mouth. You will know all the politicians. There's a lot of them that say things that they're actually not supposed to mention on a social media. And then another thing from your personal side, and I'm talking out of experience. So a staff member came and say that I don't feel well, I want to go home, and I'm really sick, and that person go home. And later on, I just want to have a little check, and I go on the Facebook of this person an hour or what later. And this person is actually put on Facebook, and they don't have a limited Facebook that only their friends can see. It's open. I've got an off day today, and I'm going to have a relaxing afternoon after I was told that I don't feel well. So you can just imagine what happened after that. So just be careful what you say on social media. And then we can look at dress code. I know a lot of us is wearing more casual to the office, but we need to keep in mind we offer a professional service to our clients. And we need to look professional. Yes, sometimes you can wear a little bit of smart casual. You don't have to be formal, but don't go totally casual. It let people, because legal work are serious. It's not just fun. It's not like marketing and all those things. It's really important. It's people's problems that you're working with. And keep your dress code a little bit more to the formal side, smart casual, so that people can actually experience you as a professional, dress professionally. I remember a while back, there was an ad from AA, Motor Vehicle Assistance, and they've got two photos, one of a guy that is neatly dressed and hair nicely combed and clean shaven, and the other photo is of a guy that's full of grease and he's got a kind of a 5-day-old beard, and the hair is hanging and it's all greasy, and he's really looking this tough guy with the muscle top t-shirt. And they say, which person will you choose to assist your daughter if she's stranded next to the road? Now, this is the same with us. If they see you too informal, you go to work with pluckies and you really dress down totally, they won't see you as serious enough. And you will find that people make use of you once and they won't come back. If you're more professional, they will see you as professional, and they will experience any service that you render as professional. Then one thing that all of us know about is the open plan office etiquette. A lot of us sitting in an open plan. And sometimes it can be just so noisy that you can't hear the other person on the phone. And while you're talking over the phone, people next to you talking, and they're talking about personal stuff. Just remember that the client can hear what is being said in the background. The telephone is like that because of sound, that they can clearly hear background noise. That is why they can even hear you smile, and they can hear a conversation going on in the background. So if you've got an open plan, just be aware that clients can hear what you say. If you swear in the background, people can hear you. And it's not a very good impression. If I phone, let's say I phone Home Affairs and it's a total noise, I kind of, yes, typical. It will be noisy there. But if I phone a law firm, I expect it to be a little more damped down, that it's quiet, not totally quiet, but that it's professional. You can hear people talk, but it's not personal stuff or swearing going on. And you found some people that when they talk over the phone, I don't know why they use phones, they can just stand there and talk. They talk so loud that the person in the other side of town can hear them. And you found it with people with cell phones as well. They talk so loud that I always wonder, why do you need a phone? So just keep in mind, when somebody that talks loud, if you sit in an open plan, that you just keep it a little bit more quiet. People can still hear you even if you talk a little bit quieter. And just respect other people as well. Then marketing and the ordering of stationery and marketing material. This is one of the biggest heartaches of any business. A lot of firms, whenever there's somebody that can manage the stationery, they make them the office manager because they can manage the stationery, because stationery is the biggest headache that a firm can experience. Let's start with marketing. A lot of people got marketing material. They've got promotional items, and it's always nice things. People remember that nice little trinkets is there to market the business and to get clients, new clients in, and new clients mean more income. It is not for your family and your children at home. If it's ordered, they're very expensive, especially when it's branded. The firm pay a lot of money for it. So make sure that you manage it properly. When somebody wants some branded material, that there's a register that they sign it out. I've seen people that all their children are at home writing with branded pens of their firm that they're working for, and your children is not going to bring any income for the business. And if you do marketing, and there's a lot of times that you spend, you've got a marketing budget and all that, there's certain expenses. Just make sure a budget is not a target. If you've got a certain budget, it doesn't mean that you have to spend that much. It just means that's your maximum. The better marketing that you do and the less that you use of your budget, then you're good. And then we get to stationery. Stationery is very funny things. I will talk about stationery and office supplies, milk, toilet paper. If you still buy your own toilet paper for your office, those things grow legs in the evenings and they walk out of the office. stationery just disappear overnight in the beginning of the year, and every time after a school holiday, then stationery just disappear. I don't know if they run away or what's going on, but it's just obvious that. And then milk and coffee and toilet paper also grow legs, and they just disappear. Tomorrow morning, the little bit of toilet paper that was still there is gone. The half liter of milk is gone. It just disappear overnight. People, sometimes you really have a need at home, but just keep in mind you've got children at home. What do you teach your children? There is no milk or there's no coffee, or Ma, I need a pen, and they forget to tell you over the weekend that they need a pen. Oh, don't worry, I will bring one from the office. We teach our children to take something from somebody else is okay. We teach our children to steal. Don't do that. Ma, the coffee is finished. I will bring from the office this afternoon. And one other big thing, maybe you score a little bit of coffee or a toilet roll or two or half a liter of milk or pens and paper. But in the end of the year, when they do the financials, then the profit of the company is less because there is overspending on stationery and marketing material. They had to order and reorder because it just keep on disappearing. And what happened then? If the profit of the company is less, that means that the salary increases will be less because there's less money to divide between everybody. So the more that you save during the year, and that is why attorneys are so glad when they get somebody that can manage the stationery, because it eats in the profit of the company. The more profit the company make, the bigger the salary increases can be. The less profit, the less the salary increases will be. So this is something that is, if you take something, you actually hurt a lot of your colleagues working with you. So just don't do that. Your ordering of office supplies and refreshments, that's toilet paper and the milk and tea and coffee. Make sure that you order enough and that it's managed properly. If you really need some coffee at home and you don't have the money to buy it, ask somebody, can I have some coffee? Just don't just take it. I had people that come to my office and say, Alta, really, I'm in really dire straits. It's 2 days before payday and I don't have toilet paper in my house. And I will gladly give them toilet paper. And I will supply from my home toilet paper back to the office. But if they ask, I will give, but don't take. It is not yours to take. Office equipment, that poor little copier that you've got, those copiers are abused. If you use a copier, it's a very expensive. I don't think this machines that you get, that's a copier and a printer and a scanner all in one, and it can make tea and coffee as well if you get the right components. That machine is costing close to $200,000-300,000 rand. Don't misuse the equipment. Don't slam the lid of the copier. You cause damage, and not immediately, but over time, it causes a lot of damage, and there's parts that needs to be replaced. And again, we need to replace parts that the firm needs to pay for that eat into the profit of the company. Just handle it with care. Handle it as if it's your own. Don't slam the lids. Don't, when there's a paper jam, don't rip it open and rip the paper out, it is really, you damage the machine inside and you shorten the lifespan of the machine. Pumzile, if you can just switch your camera off, because your camera is going over my slides, then I can't see my slides. Right hand top, there, thank you. So your office equipment is really important. Your computer, don't slam it. It is really, you damage everything and its replacement. Your telephone system of the practice. How many times have I seen people that actually, when they angry with a client, they slam that phone down? Pumzile, your camera and your mic, just close it for me, please. Can you see where? Top right, there's a camera and a mic button. Just click them so that there's a line through it. Your telephone system is expensive. A telephone system can cost anything from about 50,000 Rand to up to 200,000 Rand. And it's a lot of money. So just use it with care. And if you deal with the telephone system, the copiers and the printers, and you need to phone the technician every time and tell them there's something wrong, make sure whenever you've got a private telephone system or office equipment that you've got a service level agreement with them. A service level agreement gives you a front of the queue position. We now recently, with all these power load shedding, sometimes it plays havoc with the power and it damaged the machines. One year we had a massive lightning strike. There was very bad lightning in the area, and there a lot of people, computers and printers and copiers were damaged with lightning strike. And if you've got a service level agreement, you stand in front of the queue. So they will first look after the people that's got a service level agreement. And if you don't have a service level agreement, you stand at the back of the queue and you're going to wait 2 or 3 days before they eventually come and fix your copier or printer or your telephone system. And can you think what will happen if you don't have a copier for 3 days or a telephone system for 3 days? You can't do business without any of these equipment. So make sure that you've got a service level agreement. When you log a fault, that the people will be able to look at your systems immediately. Then budgeting, financial planning, and some tools that's available. If you work with the admin of the firm, budgeting is extremely important. Make sure that you know what is your budget to buy stationery. What is your budget for the office supplies? What is your budget for refreshments, office equipment? Or if you need to organize a year-end function, find out what is your budget, working against a budget. Even in your private household, you're working with a budget. You only got this much money to spend. You can't spend more than what you've got. So make sure that you get a budget and that you plan financially. For the people that attend, that is out and out working with the admin of the business and working with the finances, it's important that you know and understand financial planning. What is your cash flows? Your business, you will learn the trends of the business. Some months, the income of the business will be more than other months. Can you see the trend? Which months are your high months and which months are your low months? If you, for instance, have a conveyancing firm, you will find that beginning of the year, January, February is very slow because people just came back from holiday. They don't have money to buy houses now. Then it will pick up. March, April, May is usually peak. June still a bit high. July will start falling because it's winter time. People don't want to go out and look at houses. The gardens don't look that nice anymore. July, August, September is slow months, low income. Then it pick up immediately, and you've got usually your peak in November. That's where your fees spike, because everybody wants their property transferred before they go on holiday. They want everything finalized before the office closed for the holiday period. So November, your fees will peak, and then it will go down again the moment that in December, when everything closed down. So it is important that you know when is the highs of the company income and when is the lows. If you do, for instance, criminal work, you will find that your criminal work spike in December, and it will spike close to long public weekends like the Easter weekend. It will spike. People drink and they get arrested. People go on holiday, and other people will see the opportunity to break in and take what is not theirs. So depending on what kind of practice you've got, you will see the spikes in certain months. Learn which months is your spike months. And what the tools that you've got, do you use a certain program to work with your financial planning? Do you use Excel? What are you using? Make use of any tools that's available for you. I'm quickly going to touch at what I said about financial planning, or not financial planning, about Facebook, that you will be catched out. So if your cameras are not switch off and I can see you, I can see when you leave and go away and leave this webinar just to go on while you're not there. So make sure that I can't see you. Okay, meetings and minutes. Meetings I classify as time wasters, because people can sit in meetings for ages and talk and talk and talk and don't do anything. It don't bring in any positive results if it's not managed properly. If you manage a meeting, make sure that you keep control of that meeting, no matter who is sitting there. If they start chatting about private stuff, or that is not anything that's not linked to the meeting, stop them immediately and say, let's go on. We can talk about that later after the meeting. If you sit with directors in a meeting, they will talk about, say, for instance, you've got a meeting about your marketing. And then somebody will say, remember that client that we had last year? And then the whole meeting will go about this client and not about the marketing that event that you tried to plan. And 15 minutes later, you realize, but you didn't discuss anything about the marketing event. So just make sure that you manage your meetings properly. And what kind of meetings do we have? We've got formal meetings. That's usually your AGMs, your once a year financial meeting where they discuss the budgets and the cash flows and the financial statements. Directors has got a yearly meeting to plan ahead for the year ahead. Then you get your semi-formal meetings. That is the meetings that you've got once a month, a staff meeting in your office. There is still minutes that's being kept, and minutes is being given out. And then you get your informal meetings. That meeting that your employer walk in and say, quickly get everybody together. in the boardroom and get together and say, you know what, it is a public holiday today, tomorrow, we can all leave at 12 o'clock. Nobody's keeping minutes. Nobody's going to report back on it. It's just for information purposes, an informal meeting. Any other meeting is a semi-formal or a formal meeting. That is, formal meetings are usually your AGMs. So you need to understand what kind of meeting do you have, and do you really need minutes in that meeting? And if you've got minutes, the minutes need to be distributed within 48 hours after the meeting. Very important that you distribute the minutes immediately. The minutes is not distributed the day before the next meeting. It's distributed 48 hours after the meeting, so that people know what is going on and that they can prepare for the next meeting. And usually in a meeting, there is certain people that get some instructions and tasks that they need to do, and then they can start with that tasks immediately. Okay, next one. Writing of memos and notices. If you write a memo notice internal, you can just type something and put it on a notice board. But the moment that you send out a memo or a notice outside of the firm, it needs to be on the letterhead, and it needs to be very formal with all the details of your company on there. And I can see Pumzile is not listening what I'm saying because she's talking over the phone. Then insurance. As I can understand, there's a lot of people that don't understand insurance and they battle with insurance. And people, remember to post your questions. I'm going to answer all the questions after the webinar. First of all, there are various factors that can cause a legal practice to suffer damages and loss. These include damages suffered as a result of professional negligence on the part of the legal practitioners, damage to or loss of property, and the theft of property or money. That is always why you've got insurance. Think about your insurance for your house. You've got insurance on your house, on the structure of your house. Say, for instance, if there's an earthquake or your property is being damaged or burned down, you've got insurance. Then you've got the insurance for the inside of your property, that you can actually insure your furniture, your television, and all those things. And then with legal practitioners, because you work with clients, if there's any the practitioner that is practicing law and they make big mistakes, or where there is money stolen, trust money stolen. Remember, I will talk about professional indemnity insurance. This don't cover business money. That will fall under your normal insurance of your business. It is professional indemnity insurance cover for misappropriation of trust funds. One big thing that you need to remember, your professional indemnity insurance is something, it's an external insurance that your company have to take out and pay for on a monthly basis. And it's usually your conveyancing firms, your firms that doing MVA. This is the people that take out professional indemnity insurance. And this is important that you get this, especially if you're on bank panels, that you do bonds or you do transfers, that you have a way you get deposits of clients. And if you do high court litigation where clients give you big amounts of deposits that they have to put down, that you have professional indemnity insurance. And when you take out the professional indemnity insurance, make sure that each and every person that work with the money or have access to any bank account, that they are added to the insurance. Your bookkeeper needs to be added. If you've got somebody that authorizes payments, maybe a bookkeeper and senior legal administrators, if they can authorize payments, they all need to be included. Way back when there is some collection firms that do still collect cash money, and you need to go and deposit the cash. Make sure that the person that do your banking is on that professional indemnity insurance, because a misappropriation of trust funds is for anything that can happen with trust funds. It's being stolen, it's being paid over electronically. It is anything that can go wrong with trust money is covered by professional indemnity insurance. But it is not something to be that's compulsory. It's depending on the kind of work that you do. Then we get the legal practitioners insurance indemnity fund. That is something that you it's automatically registered. And each and every firm has got their own indemnity fund. And when there is trust money stolen, the LPC, the LPIIF, will ask you first claim from your professional indemnity insurance, then we will look at your claim and we will add to your claim, but you need to look at your professional indemnity insurance first before the legal practitioners insurance indemnity fund kicks in. You need to first of all use any money that you've got available on your personal professional indemnity insurance before you can claim from this one. Then you've got your cover for misappropriation of trust funds, where it's out and out director that steal trust funds, transfer the money to their personal business account, and they just use it for their own personal use. Again, you need to look at your insurances, other insurances first, before you can claim from that. And then just to go back, your professional indemnity insurance, you put in the claim and you are being refunded. When we get to the legal practitioners insurance indemnity fund, or the cover of misappropriation and trust money, that is for the clients only. It's not for your staff members. It is not for anybody else than a client. A client can claim and they will refund the client. They won't refund the attorney or the firm. Therefore, you need the professional indemnity insurance cover for misappropriation of trust funds. Then you get your professional indemnity cover for cybercrime. It usually go with your professional indemnity insurance cover that you personally take out. Because somebody click on a link to say, log in here, there's something wrong with your bank account. Somebody click on that link and they get access to your trust account. And the next thing that you know, they withdraw a lot of money out of your trust account. Or in the instance where somebody pay over money for a client and they pay it into the wrong bank account and you can't get it back, it's paid over. Sometimes you can get it back, but if somebody pay 100,000 Rand into my account, I will wonder where it's coming from and I will ask the bank what's going on here. But there is people that withdraw that money immediately and it's gone and you can't get it back. So your cyber crime is something that you really need to think about to make it compulsory so that you've got it when it comes to insurance. Your professional indemnity cyber crime is flaring up everywhere now. And that is why we've got FICA, why we've got the POPI and all those things. It is because of the cyber crime that's happening. Then we get the office insurance, your short-term insurance. That is everything that's got a short lifespan, a desk, a table, a computer, a car, that won't last for years and years and years. It's something that don't live forever or don't live for 50 years. That is your office insurance, your short-term insurance. Any movable thing that you've got in your office, your telephone system, your copiers, your printers, if you've got your copiers and printers on a lease, you still need to insure it. If you've got your car and you're still paying off on the company car, you need to insure it. And it's always good to have a company car insured, even if it's paid off. Because you drive around a lot and you need insurance and third-party insurance should the driver get into an accident. Your office insurance, there could be a lightning strike, there could be a flood, there could be a break-in, a robbery, anything where they can take personal or office stuff. Then have a look. If you use your personal phone for the office, is your personal phone insured through the office insurance? If you use your personal computer for the office, is your computer insured through the office insurance? Don't think just because I'm using it the office and it's being stolen, I can say, you know what, I use my personal computer in the office and now I claim. No, you can't. It needs to be listed very specifically with a serial number. And then we come back to your normal office equipment. Any laptop, any computer needs to be insured with its serial number. If a laptop is being damaged or too old and replaced by a new one, make sure that you take the old one off and replace the new one. If there's a break-in and they steal the new one, you can't claim for the old one, or you can claim for the old one if they steal it, but if they don't steal it, you can't claim. You can't claim for the new one because the serial number don't match. So the moment that you get a new office equipment, a computer, a copier, a new vehicle, a new office phone, make sure that you insure it immediately. Contact the insurance, the short-term insurance, and tell them, take this one off and take this one, put this new one back on, and they will ask you the serial numbers and all that. A lot of time people got their office insurance, and when you look at it, you will pay because each and every item that you've got on your insurance, you pay a fee towards. And you won't realize how much you pay for items that you don't use anymore, that's somewhere in an office at the back of a shelf or in storage or whatever that you don't use anymore, but you still pay insurance for it. That is why it's important that you manage your office insurance and just check it and update it every 3 months. Every 3 months, get all the list of your office insurance. Make sure that there is not outdated items on your insurance, that all new items are on the insurance, so that you can check everything and make sure that it is insured should anything happen, that you can claim from the insurance. And remember, if there's one mistake on a serial number, the insurance will use it not to pay, because they will try and pay out as less as possible and not the maximum. So if they can use an excuse, they will do that. We're going to break for 5 minutes now. We're going to start at 5 o'clock again, and I will go on with the insurance. And people, remember to post your questions in the meantime. I'm going to answer each and every question at the end of this webinar. So if you post your questions, I won't skip it. I will answer all the questions. Quickly, a 5-minute break. Okay, we're back and let's go on with our presentation. The next insurance we've got, that's your long-term insurance, life insurance, or they call it also keyman insurance. That is something with a long lifespan. Your life insurance on somebody's life. Keyman insurance is when we've got insurance on directors. Because when a staff member resign, we take, sometimes immediately we can replace that person, or it will take a while, especially if it's a very dedicated and hard-working employee that resigned. It takes a little bit time to replace them. But if you've got a director, especially when they specialize in a certain field, it's not somebody that you replace within 30 days. Sometimes you've got a director that specializes in a certain field where there's only a few people in the country that do that kind of work or have the knowledge of that work. And if that person passes away, it will have a massive financial impact on the firm. So it's important to have keyman insurance, the directors with each other, where the firm is the beneficiary, not the other directors, the firm. The money is paid out to the firm, and they can use that money to protect the income that's going to fall away while you're looking to replace the director and get somebody with the same knowledge. So that money will be used then. Because if somebody passed away, it's not something that it will twinkle down until nothing. It is immediate. The income on that department is immediately cut off. So you will need to be able to carry the staff members of that department and be able to find a replacement for the director. And that's your life insurance. That's your 3 insurances that you get. And it is important that you know the difference, and you can't claim from your professional indemnity insurance if something went wrong with your business money. That will fall under your office insurance. Any money that's being stolen from by a staff member and it is from the business account, it will fall under your office insurance, not your professional indemnity insurance. That's only your trust funds. Cybercrime, it's only trust funds. You can ask for additional cybercrime cover for your business account, and they will add it, and there's an additional fee. But for theft of money, it will only cover the people that take in the office that take trust money. For instance, if I'm the person that authorized payments and my name is not on the professional indemnity insurance, and I get it right to steal a lot of money, a couple of millions, and they found it out, they can't claim from the professional indemnity because my name is not there. That is the most important thing of these insurances. And also remember, if you don't have a Fidelity Fund certificate, you won't be able to claim from your misappropriate of trust money and your legal practitioner's insurance indemnity fund. You won't be able to claim from it because you don't have a valid Fidelity Fund certificate. And Fidelity Fund certificates is being issued to each and every director. Office insurance, all the stuff with short lifespan, your short-term insurance, and then your long-term insurance, your life insurance, keyman insurance. That is all your insurances. So we've got all I discussed the keyman insurance when you fall away. Then we sit with professional life skills. Now, why do you need life skills while working? It is very important. Every employer and every office will pose their own challenges for employees. There are various reasons for such challenges, such as nature of the work, of the employee is expected to perform changes in an employee's job description, the office layout, moving of office, changing from one kind of software to another. Your co-workers, employees are required to have some professional life skills to enable them to deal with all these changes and challenges in the office. Now, first of all, the biggest one is time management. If we can't manage our time, we will be unhappy in our work. We will feel we're drowning. It will cause a lot of stress, even in our personal life, if we don't manage our time properly in the office. Then we need to manage conflict. Remember, if you in a firm of 5 people, it's 5 different personalities that is thrown together between 4 walls, and most of your waking hours are spent in these 4 walls. There will be conflict. The big thing is, how do you manage it? How do you manage conflict? And you will see in the module what is all the things that you need to do to manage the conflict. Don't cause the conflict to explode. Manage it properly. Look what is causing the conflict. Talk to the people. If it's unhappiness between 2 staff members, talk about it and sort it out as quickly as possible. There's nothing so bad to go to an office and you feel, you know what, I don't want to be here because I don't like this person, or this person don't like me. It causes a lot of strain in the business. So please make sure that you manage your conflict in the business. Then managing change. Why do we have to manage change, and what is change? Maybe you moved to another department, or you used to do litigation and now suddenly the firm decided that they're not going to do litigation anymore. They're going to do MVA work now. And it's a big change. You don't understand the MVA work. You need to learn new things. You need to learn new computer software. You've been moved from an office where you were sitting on your own now to an open plan. People, can you just switch off your mics again? I can hear people talk in the background. If you can just switch it off, thank you. So you need to manage that change, and that change can cause a lot of stress as well. It will make you unhappy. And what do you do? Get involved in the change. Give your opinion. Because change is going to happen no matter what. If it's a new computer software, go with it, embrace it. It's much better than to kick against it. You can kick all that you want. There will be a change. So the best is go with it. See how you can embrace it. How can you quickly learn the new program? How can you quickly learn new work? It's a new challenges out there. It is something new to learn. People always say you're never too old to learn. But I love to say that knowledge can never be taken away from you. They can rob you. They can steal your money. They can steal your purse. They can steal your cell phone. They can steal your car, but they can never steal your knowledge. So if you've got the opportunity to learn something new, embrace it and learn something new. It will open up a new world for you. And you will find that this change is not a nightmare anymore. You will be able to manage. And now, managing stress. And if I ask you, do you have on a regular basis headaches? All of you will say yes. Because that is the kind of environment that we work in. We work in a stressful environment. No matter what department you're working in, it's a stressful environment. And you're going to have stress. But you get good stress and you get bad stress. Bad stress is when you're getting tired, you're getting headaches, you don't want to work there anymore, you get depression. That's bad stress. And some of the stress, if you manage it properly, you can change it to good stress. I'm addicted to stress. I need stress. If I don't work under stress, I can't function. I need to feel that pressure all the time to function 100%. If there's no stress, I will look for trouble till I've got stress and then I will go on again. And a lot of you working in a law firm, you get addicted to that stress. You just need to manage it. The moment that you can manage it and you feel you can work under that pressure, you can work under stress, that is good stress. That excitement of a big workload coming in, a big change coming in, and we're going to change and we're going to learn something new. That stress is good stress. It's good for your body and it's good for your mind. That stress that you fight against, that's the bad stress. That is the stress that in the end will kill you. It will cause depression. You will withdraw from everybody in your personal life even. You don't want to go anywhere and you fall in a deep depression and you don't want to go there. It's not nice. So manage your stress and change the stress to good stress. And the biggest thing is to make yourself stress proof. And how do you do it? A lot of us will say, this stress, I can't take it anymore. And the more that you tell it to yourself, your brain is a very funny thing. You will start believing it because you keep on saying it. When I tell you, you know what, I'm actually a little bit stupid. People will laugh and they will look funny at you. And then I say it again, you know, it's because I'm a little bit stupid. By the end of the evening, you're going to believe I'm stupid because I keep on saying it. And I'm going to start believing it that I'm stupid because I keep on saying it. And people tend to say something like that just in a joke, but they repeat it all the time. And the brain will start believing you stupid because that is what they hear. So if you keep on telling, I can't handle the stress, you won't be able to handle it. If you're the kind of person to say that I can deal with stress, bring it on. That is a challenge for me. I can do it. You make yourself stress proof and you will be able to manage your stress better. And what other people can see as severe stress, you will fly through it because it won't have the same negative impact on you than on other people. Assertiveness. We can't be aggressive. That's not good. It's not good for the working environment. It's not good to be aggressive towards clients. It's not good to be aggressive in your personal life. And the opposite is passive. If you passive and say, okay, yes, just load it on my shoulders, I will take it. And you go on and everybody misuse you and you just do it. Passive is also not good. When you're passive, people tend to make misuse of you. So you need to get that in between, and that is assertiveness. You need to be awake, be on your toes always, so that you can manage whatever life deals you, that you can deal with it. If a client walk in and they're very angry and scream at you, if you assertive, you can take the client, you can deal with the client in a professional manner, and in the end, the client will be happy and leaving with a smile on their face. Assertive means that they won't sit on your head, but you're not aggressive. You don't want to dominate other people. We're on an equal field. That's your assertiveness. And if you can manage to do that, you will see how good you will find that when you go through life, even in your personal life, you won't have people that hate you because you're aggressive, and you won't have people that see down on you because you're passive. You awake, you're always there, you're always in front of the queue, you always know about new things first, you learn new things the first. You got new ideas, great ideas to expand something or have new processes in your office. That assertiveness. And just look at when you get a compliment. And ladies, we all do it. Somebody will tell, oh, you've got a beautiful blouse on, and you're kind of embarrassed and you say, oh, it's an old one, even if the price tag is still on it. You will say, oh, it's an old one. No, why do you say that? Be proud that you've got a new blouse on. When I buy something new, I will wear it immediately because I want to show everybody I've got new shoes or I've got a new blouse. And when they tell me I've got, oh, you've got beautiful shoes. Yes, I bought it yesterday or this morning in the shops, and it's nice because you won't buy something that you don't like. You buy it because you like it. And people will tend to give you more compliments if you're assertive. And just accept it with grace and say thank you. You don't have to be embarrassed when somebody gives you a compliment. And nowadays, if you, a female, give a compliment to a male, everybody look at you and say, oh, what are you trying to do? People will always want to see something beyond that than just a normal compliment. And assertiveness is when you receive that compliment and make a compliment, and people can see it for that you appreciate something beautiful, or that you accept that somebody appreciates something that you've got that's beautiful. It's important to be assertive wherever you go in your personal life or in the business world. And then your administrator's relationship with staff and management. Remember, we call it support staff. And why do we call it support staff? You support the director, you support management, you support all the other staff with your exceptional skills that you've got. If you are office administrator, it doesn't mean that you're worth less. It doesn't mean that other people are more intelligent than you are. You've got certain skills that other people don't have. Your administrator don't have only knowledge of a certain document to do or knowledge of a process in the legal field. You've got certain skills. Again, you've got time management skills. You can manage conflict. You can manage change. All those skills that you've got is linked to be an administrator. And even if you are supportive to other staff members and to management, it doesn't mean that you're less equal to them. You're just as important to the business than anybody else. And then we've got teamwork. If you walk into your office in the morning, you're a team. The whole business is a team, and you need to function as a team. If you don't work together as a team, the business won't go forward. Teamwork is extremely important to work together, to move forward, and to grow the business. And the moment that the business grows, it means a better salary. teamwork, and that is where that conflict coming in. You won't be able to function as a proper team if there's conflict. So you need to manage that conflict so that the team work well together. It's a well-oiled machine going forward. And in teamwork, we appreciate each other, we respect each other, and we're working together as a team, and then we will move forward. And now, how do we manage compliance and trust money? Trust money is always, when you're working in a law firm, always out there, because that is the most important thing. In module 1, we briefly set out in what ways legal practices are being regulated. The regulation of legal practices and other business operations often involved an additional requirement for compliance imposed on the entity subject to regulations. Compliance to these requirements are often administrative and of nature, and as an office administrator, one is required to know the nature of the compliance required and when the legal practice has to comply with these requirements. Now, the first one is SARS, South African Revenue Service. Now, SARS is my uncle, because I only give money to family. And every month before I take my salary, I give some money to SARS, so it must be family. But if you're not compliant with SARS, if you can't get a tax clearance certificate for your business from SARS, it's dangerous. Because the moment that you can't get a tax clearance, eventually SARS will hold their hand and say, pay up now. Now we've got fines, and we've got penalties and all that, and that can hurt a business financially really bad. So we need to be compliant with our VAT, with our corporate income tax, with the pay as you earn. Do you pay over the staff members pay as you earn? One big thing that you need to remember, even if your employer deduct your pay as you earn and pay it over, you need to make sure that it is paid over. If SARS at the end of the year come and say, you short pay as you earn, and you said, but my employer paid it, SARS look at you, not at your employer. They look at you and say, it's your pay as you earn, you need to manage it. So from time to you get an IRP 5, but check on your HR department and make sure that pay as you earn is submitted every month. Then we've got the big one, FICA, and FICA nowadays, they on a mission to do audits on attorneys' firms, because attorneys' firms is being targeted by criminals to wash money. So FICA is busy with audits, and they work hand in hand with the Legal Practice Council, and they're going to audit a lot of law firms. So make sure that your FICA is up to date and that you're compliant with all the rules and regulations. There came out a lot of new things about FICA now recently, and you need to be compliant with all those new regulations. All your internal rules, you need to have manuals, you need to have proof of training, you need to have certain things that clients sign. And if you don't have it, you will be penalized by FIC. And remember, FIC start with penalties of 3 million rand. And do you really think your business have 3 million rand lying around somewhere to pay FIC? Informing clients of FICA, confidentiality and privilege, which clients do legal practitioners have to FICA. You need to know when to do it and how to do it, identification and verification requirements. It's really important. And then we've got, with that hand in hand, the POPI Act, There's an introduction to the POPI Act that you need to understand. There's effective dates that passed now, so you need to be compliant by now. The rights of data subject, individuals or legal entities. Purpose of a data specification. Security safeguards. Do you really have enough security? Civil remedies. Enforcement of offences, remedies and penalties. Remember, when you're not compliant, there's a lot of penalties that will come your way. And then a conclusion of the POPI Act. Make sure that you read everything and that you understand the POPI Act. POPI Act is also important, but the one that is got a drive at this stage is FICA. And if you're not compliant with FICA, they're going to hit you hard. So make sure that you're compliant and registered and that you report whatever needs to be reported. And then we get to BEE. Now, the broad-based Black economic empowerment, you need to understand what companies need to be compliant with BEE, depending on the kind of work that you do and depending on the clients that you've got. What is the amendments that come out with BEE on a regular basis? There is from time to time amended scores and codes that you need to understand where do you need to fall in, depending on the size of the firm and the income of the firm and your management positions that you need to be compliant, and which levels and elements do you comply with. The bigger the firm, the more you need to be compliant to certain elements. The smaller the firm and the less the income, the less elements you have to comply to. Then you've got small, medium and start-up businesses. They've got then different elements. They don't have to comply to all the elements. They've got a generic level 4 BEE. So immediately they get level 4. And if they want to go any better than level 4, they need to start doing elements and comply to certain elements. Then we talk about trust money and trust accounts. Trust money, the short version of trust money, it's not yours. It's not the firm's, it's not the attorney's, it's nobody's money except the client. Trust money in your account, stay the money of the client till the work is being done. Then it becomes the firm's money. Any money paid out from the trust account to the business account must be for services rendered in the past. Not something that you still need to do. You need to render the service, then you get the money from the trust account. If people put a deposit on a property, it's not yours, it's not the estate agent's money, it's the purchaser's money that he will or she will receive on the day of registration of the property, not before that, on the day of registration. And your trust accounts will be audited every year. I just sign off on all our trust accounts audits, so it's being submitted to the LPC tomorrow. So your trust audit needs to be clean audit, otherwise the LPC will send you a nice letter and say, explain what happened here. And one thing that you need to remember, if you make mistakes, it's not you that need to report to the LPC. It is the directors. They will have to explain to the LPC what happened. So it's important that you understand how the finances on your file, if you work with clients and you work with a file, how the finances work. And if you work with the trust money in the accounts department, Make sure that you understand that trust money can't be used for any expenses in the business or salaries or anything. And people, money that come in cash in the business, where a debtor come and pay cash, that cash is not petty cash. You're not allowed to use that money for petty cash. That money needs to be deposited the next working day, the same day or the next working day, into the trust account. Cash coming in from a debtor or a client that paid is not petty cash. It needs to be deposited into the trust account. I had several people that say, oh no, the money that is being paid at reception, they use it as petty cash, then they don't have to withdraw petty cash. People, that's not, if the auditors find that out, your firm will be in serious trouble. So you need to understand what is trust money and that your trust accounts fall under the Legal Practice Act, and you need to make sure that you comply to all the rules and that your trust audits is done every year. Okay, now we get to client care. Your client care, your customer service is very important. That can make or break your firm. Client care or customer service is defined as a series of activities designed to enhance the level of client satisfaction. The feeling that the product or the service has met the client's expectations. It is a vital part of marketing. Your legal practice as it enables you to find new clients or to retain them. And it costs more to find a new client than to retain existing client. Now, how do I provide good client care? I need to know my business. If I don't know my job, I can't provide a good service. I need to know what I'm talking about and not just say something what the client wants to hear, because they will find out that you're lying to them or you just didn't know. Make sure that you know your job. Your body language. You need to be friendly, even if the client is screaming and swearing at you. You're the bigger person. Your body language will say a lot. Don't fold your arms and listen to the client, because the client will just go even worse. So your body language must be friendly and accommodating so that you can calm down the client. Be a good listener. Remember, working in a law firm, you're a little bit of a psychologist as well. A lot of times people go to a law firm because they've got problems. And they want somebody to listen and have sympathy with their problems. So you need to be a good listener. You don't have to pat them on the shoulder and say, oh, the bad people out there. And you just need to listen. And if they found that you listen, they will calm down and they will accept that they're in good hands and professional hands. And then identify and anticipate the client's needs. What does the client expect of you as individual and as a business? And if you don't manage the expectations of the clients, then that is when you get a client that is upset, a client that screams at you and tell you you don't know what you're doing. It's not because you've done something wrong. It's just you didn't manage the expectations of a client. If you tell a client it will take 8 weeks and suddenly it changed to 10 weeks, if you realize within 2 or 3 weeks it's going to take longer and you inform the client it's going to take longer due to this and this that happened, they won't get upset. But if you keep quiet and after the 10th week, the client phone and say, what's happening? And you say, but it's taking longer now. That is when the client get upset and you get that devil of a client that everybody try to avoid and don't want to talk to, that is when you get that client. It's because you didn't manage their expectations. Explain to the client your practice systems and procedures, that you have to do certain things before you can do a next thing. They need to make appointment. They need to do certain things from their side as well. If they understand that, they will accept it. If you work, for instance, in a conveyancing firm, you transfer bonds of millions of rands every day. You transfer property every day for millions and millions of rands. You do transfers 3, 4, 5, depending on the size of your firm every day. It's nothing new. The client walking in is buying a property, say for instance for 900,000 rand. With the interest on the bond, they suddenly have debt of 3 or 4 million rand. Some people only buy a property once in their lifetime. It's serious for them. They've got serious debt. Suddenly from one day to the other, they've got 1 million rand of debt or 4 million rand of debt. They jittery about it. They sell maybe a previous house. They take 100,000 rand and they deposit in your trust account. They heard all these horror stories about attorneys stealing trust money. And how do they know that their money is safe? They're going to bombard you with questions. But if you explain your systems and procedures and explain the turnaround times to the client, they will calm down and they won't be that nervous anymore. And how do we deal with that difficult client if we didn't manage their expectations and now the client is difficult? Talk to the client, be calm, don't be aggressive back, be calm and tell them, okay, this is what we're going to do to resolve it. I will give you feedback every Friday. And when you promise to give them feedback every Friday, phone them or send them an email every Friday, even if nothing happened during the week. Just say, we're still waiting for this, or we're still waiting for the council, or the other party, maybe the defendant in the matter didn't come back yet. We still got 10 days to wait. Then we will take the next step. But inform your client. If you inform your client, the difficult or negative client will turn around to become your best client. I've got numerous times that the people tell me after they talk to the client, they listen to the client, listen to their problems. You're not going to say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Don't do that. Just say, I'm sorry for what's happening and that you experience a bad service, but we will prove to you that you choose the right attorneys, and we will prove to you that we're going to do a professional service. That the people afterwards told me that this difficult client is now their biggest client, and this client refer a lot of other clients to them. So when you deal with a difficult client and you manage it properly, it will make your life a lot easier working in the business. And a lot of times when you're working on the switchboard, you will get that difficult client firsthand. You will hear the whole story, even if you don't work with it. And that is my song and dance for tonight. It's night already, maybe. I see it's dark outside. And now all the questions. Let's see what is the questions that the people had, and I will answer all your questions. Okay, just to make sure, the announcement on eLeader indicate that recording would be made available for the delegates if they are not available to attend the webinar. Okay, if you got that message through, then it will be made available. and then you will get the recording from Grace. She will make sure that you get just correspond with Grace then. She will then make it available. Most of us are having challenges with activity 3. Any idea what's happening? You can get it under forums and it was sent out, but what I will do, I will tonight send it out on an announcement again to everybody. So if you battle to open it under the forum or on the announcement, I will send a new one of activity 3 tonight. So tomorrow morning you will be able to have it and open it, and you will be able to access it. Also, thank you for taking the time to assist us all here with the following question that I have in terms of the online test. Should we be able to indicate the difference into BEE levels? No, just know that there is how many levels there is. You don't have to go and explain every level. Just know how many levels are there and what are they called, the levels. FICA manually downloaded from website, and where to find the steps afterglow and coating in the modules. Maybe I missed it. It will be on the modules. It is on the afterglow and coating is on the client care side as the last module. You will find it there. But if you can't find it, just post it on the forum, and I will quickly have a look tomorrow afternoon and maybe post something about the afterglow and coating. That is the client care module. And then the FICA manual downloaded from the website. And where, okay, FICA manual, remember the manual for FICA that is there. You need to change it so that it's compliant to your firm. That is why people don't want to. There's a manual, a FICA manual that each and every firm should have, and it must be compliant to your personal, to your business. There is not a generic manual that you just put in a name and it's working. You need to step by step. If you've got the manual, make sure that each and every step is literally necessary for your business. There's a lot of steps that you can leave out, or there's steps that you need to add into that manual. That is just a rough draft that you can change so that it is very specific to your business. If you've got a FICA audit, they will look at your manual, and if it's just a generic one and they start asking you questions on the specific ones and say, okay, show me where is this, and you can't provide them with proof, you will be penalized. So please make sure that you take that manual and make it very specific to your business. And then I've got somebody that asked if they can do their articles, serve their articles. First of all, you need to be a permanent employee of a law firm. And it is practicing attorneys that is registered with the Legal Practice Council. And you need to have a contract, an articles contract that is registered with the Legal Practice Council, where the firm that you're working for actually undertake that you will learn certain things. So if you're a permanent employee of another company that just got attorneys that they do work for, it won't work. You need to be a full-time employee of a admitted attorney before you can serve articles under them. Delta is not possible to insure legal practitioners as a group, a partner in a firm, or should each be insured individually. Also, let us know why partners cannot be insured as a group if it cannot be done. Okay, your firm is insured and your partners is being added as beneficiaries or as people that is involved in this business, but it is the business that with your professional indemnity insurance that you take out. The legal practitioners fund, there is every partner will be insured the moment that they get a fidelity fund. So each partner is insured with the Legal Practice Council Fidelity Fund the moment that they've got a Fidelity Fund certificate. So it's not as a group, is each individual, and that's only the directors. Professional assistants and staff members can't have professional indemnity insurance or the LPC's insurance because it's only directors. Your staff can be added to your private professional indemnity insurance that you get from a third party. There is a lot of companies that offer professional indemnity insurance. Another person that say I can't find activity 3, look at the forum section, or if you if you can't access it, I will send the activity 3 again if you've got trouble accessing it. Any more questions? Will you only have the one test? Yes, it's only one test that you've got. And then the one that count the biggest is your 3 activities that you're going to complete now and submit as one activity. And remember, don't submit it as 3 different activities. Submit it as one portfolio with the 3 different activities in one portfolio. And make sure that it's PDF. I can't mark it if it's not in PDF. Nowadays, it's very easy if you do it in Word to save it just as PDF. And there you can submit it. Make sure when you submit it that you get the confirmation back that it is submitted, so that you've got proof that you submit your portfolio. Any more questions? Nothing? Okay, the due date for the activities, you will see it is on that first introduction letter. I explain in detail there how you need to do it. And I'm not online currently, so on the platform. But if it's the 15th, yes, it will be the 15th, then I will start marking it. And remember, I've got a lot of activities to mark, portfolios, so I won't be able to give it to you back the next day. It will take me a couple of days to quickly mark it. Then I will definitely make sure that you get your results back in time. And then I've got somebody that asked, let me just see here, go in here. What is the, we reference the POE answers. No, you don't have to reference it. I've got a, usually with the references, it show me that you don't just copy and paste, but I've got software the moment that I open your portfolio, anything that you just plain copy and paste from the internet will pop up for me, and I can see where you just copy and paste. So make sure that you just don't take a whole thing and copy and paste. You will have to write it in your own words. It's very important to use your own words, even if you just change it a little bit. When do we have to do the peer reviews. That will be a little bit later. I'm not sure on that one. All the administrative answers, just post it on the forum for me and I will answer you there. Where I've got all the information in front of me. I only got the presentation open now in front of me. And I do so many webinars, I can't remember everyone's out of the top of my head. So just post that question on the forum and I will answer you there. Any other questions regarding the webinar? Anything? Okay, if there's no more questions, we will conclude this webinar now. And I really appreciate your attendance. And hopefully you learned something that you were struggling with, that you understand now better. And we will see how it goes with the portfolios. I can't wait to see your portfolios. It's always very interesting for me to do go through your portfolios and market. And I see extremely good work. And I appreciate it when you really put in the effort. Okay, everybody, if you have to drive home now, drive carefully, please. And enjoy your weekend after the day, after tomorrow work day, and have a good rest. Good night and enjoy your evening.